Hey guys, I'm Alta, and today we're here just to boil some chicken, okay? Boiled chicken isn't gonna be a meal in and of itself for most people, but this is gonna be the building block of a lot of meals that we're gonna start with as we go through these tutorials, okay? So this is my first one that I'm doing. A little bit about me. I'm near 40 years old, not quite yet, I've still got a couple years. I have a 3-year-old, just turned 3. Hopefully she'll be helping us out in some of these videos, working on a nap right now. I'm an engineer by trade, and I've been teaching in engineering. That's kind of what inspired me to do some of these video sets, is that I've been teaching during the pandemic, and a lot of my college students were telling me that they were trying to learn how to cook once we were doing the pandemic, which was several years ago at this point. It's July 2023 as I'm doing this. But I saw that a lot of college age students were just now starting to get into learning to cook and that type of thing. And I've basically been cooking and learning to cook from family and all throughout my life. My family's from Alabama, Mississippi. I'm here in Mississippi, so you're gonna see a lot of Southern recipes most likely coming through here. Okay, so that's just kind of some background on what I'm doing and why I'm doing this. And again, today we're just gonna start with boiled chicken, because again, that's a big part of where we will start out with some of our other recipes in the future. Okay, so boiled chicken in and of itself is really easy. Here, today I'm gonna boil a whole chicken. This is great if you're gonna be cooking large size casseroles, multiple casseroles, you wanna freeze them, that type of thing. And so a whole chicken, a lot of times is what I use. If you don't like dark meat, you probably don't wanna do a whole chicken. Split breast is another great option. If you don't really like getting your hands as dirty and things like that, split breast is definitely a better option. Honestly, I usually would do split breast, but my grocery store tends to only sell whole chicken. It doesn't have split breast. It has chicken breast, but not the bone-in chicken breast, okay? And so if you're buying split breast, you want the chicken that has the bone and skin still on it, right? So you want the split breast particularly with the bone in. Another note on this, I've got my dog over here. When I boil chicken, I'm gonna give a little bit to her, but realistically, this isn't the type of boiled chicken that you should be doing for your dog. Okay, so if you're looking for this recipe, if you're thinking you can boil some chicken for your dog, onions, not really something you wanna have for your dog. Salt and pepper, that type of thing. For dog boiled chicken, that's supposed to be really just cooked chicken in water, pretty much no flavor added for that, okay? So like I said, I'll give her just a little bit, but it's not something to get in the habit of giving your dog, and it doesn't do meal replacement. It's not what you want to give a sick dog, that type of thing, okay? So this is for human consumption, okay? And so you don't need a lot. Like I said, you need some chicken, an onion. Pretty much all recipes that call for onions, I'm usually going to want yellow onions or sweet onions, but unless it specifically says red onion or those types of things, right? And then you just need salt and pepper, okay? Cutting board, helpful for the onion. Sharp knife, must. And then we're going to use this to cook the chicken in. Big pot, okay? Just needs to fit whatever chicken you have in it. So if it's split breast, you probably can get away with something a little smaller than that, right? And then we're gonna just use some water from the tap, okay? So we're gonna start with cutting up the onion. There are lots of ways you can cut up an onion. I'm just gonna do my way here. I'm sure there are better ways as well. But what I like to do is cut the ends off, right? It kind of makes it easier for me to peel if I just go ahead and cut each end off, right? And then I take it and I peel a generous amount off. Usually I just bought these onions, but usually because I have, onions that have sat there for a while, so I usually go ahead and peel the first like layer off underneath all the stuff, right, like that. Okay. And make sure there are no spots or anything like that on the onion. This one looks pretty good. Like I said, just bought this one. It should be pretty good. Okay, now as far as dicing the onion, there are a couple ways you can do it. Lately what I've been doing is just kind of partially cutting it to about midway, right? And that just helps with getting it diced right as I slice, essentially. But I'm still gonna have a little more to do since this is only going halfway down the onion, right? So, yeah, that's not going very far. All right. And so now, and yeah, these knives are pretty old. They were once very sharp, but I haven't sharpened them well, so I have to put a little elbow grease in here sometimes, right? But now, doing like that, I get nice diced coming on out, right? And I can just cut them up as I see pieces that might be a little bigger. Okay, so here we can see my dice hit that dice plate, right? Doesn't matter if these are a little bit larger pieces. They're really just to flavor the chicken, keep it from smelling too badly as you're cooking it, right? But I'm gonna go ahead here and finish up the cutting. Wasn't the most even cut onion ever. You know, mainly just want to be careful that you're not gonna cut yourself, right? That piece is a little not to my satisfaction, so I'm just tossing it in my reject pile, right? And now I'm gonna come here and see, sometimes I just toss it in my reject pile when it doesn't cut as easily as the rest of the onion, right? See, sometimes those outer pieces don't cut quite as smoothly, right? So we got these, that's one. All right, so with this last piece, right, we basically got the hardest part completed of our boiling chicken, right? It's just cutting up the onion. Okay. Bam, done, all right? Okay, so now it's time to prep the chicken. Forgot a tool you might need, just some kitchen scissors to cut open the chicken. Again, if you have split breast, this is not quite so necessary, right? I'm gonna get a second bag here to double bag the chicken carcass. Okay, I saw there was a hole in that bag and I didn't want chicken juice dripping over that because all the stuff that I'm not going to cook is gonna go in this bag. And then the chicken itself is gonna go in a big pot, okay? So, cutting open the chicken. All right, and now, obviously, chicken juice, you need to make sure you wash your hands plenty as you're handling raw chicken, and anything that's gonna touch it, like these scissors, it's coming in here on the dirty side of the sink to go in the dishwasher and be sanitized. Right? If you are indeed using a whole chicken like I am, then you need to come in here, right, and pull out the parts, okay? So this one, I bought this brand because I like that it kind of bags the chicken. It wasn't all together there, so I'll go make sure I don't find any more. Okay, so gotta double check, make sure there's nothing else in there. Sometimes I pull off this excess fat as well and just get some of that off or trimmed. All right, those chicken bits, okay, so this would be the neck and everything else, not the neck. If you wanted, there's some, one of these is the neck, maybe both together, right? Everything else, this stuff you could boil for your dog, but it's gonna smell really bad. I used to do that some, and then I just decided not to because it smells bad. But just so you know that you can use that for certain things, I just throw it away, okay? And then make sure I'm taking my trash out pretty frequently, right? So I'm dumping the juice out, and then this is going straight into my pot. I'll show you how it fits in there in a second, okay? And then this coming in here, right? And making sure to wash my hands frequently as I'm dealing with chicken juice. And I'm gonna wipe this counter down, right? Just to make sure I don't have any chicken juice expelled on the counter, right? Go ahead. And I'll be cleaning this out as well, but just like to make sure, keep everything clean. Don't want to spread any salmonella or anything like that as you're using chicken and handling raw chicken, okay? So I'm gonna first tie up this bag and throw it straight away. Okay, so now we just have our chicken hanging out here in its pot, all right? And like I said, if you had split brush, then you wouldn't need to clean anything out of it. You just put your split brush right in, but same basic process. Okay, so here's our chicken. You can see how it's fitting in that pot. As long as you can close the lid and mostly cover it with water, should be okay, all right? So next I'm gonna just pour some salt till it feels good. Okay, there are a lot of things that you need to be really precise in when you're cooking and baking, particularly candy making, which we're not gonna do until the weather changes. We're not gonna do in this hot, humid environment, but I'm not a very precise person, and I tend to just measure with feeling, okay? And sometimes things don't always turn out great. And you know, that's part of learning to cook too, is just starting to do things and just go with whatever results you have, okay? So next I'm pouring these onions. So we salt and peppered the chicken. Now I'm covering it with the onions that I sliced up, okay? There we go. And next, we're gonna make sure the chicken is covered with water.